Hi, I'm Ariel Ramos. About a year ago, I got out of the military after a decade of service. After a really difficult deployment, I ended up on a 5150 hold for suicidal ideation, and my life had really kind of been spiraling out of control for a while. And after this hold, I went through outpatient, I started going through therapy, and I've pretty much just spent the last year in a self-imposed isolation, trying to really reshape my life and come back from the depths of the hell I was living in. And October of 2023, when I decided to join the Church of Ambrosia, it's kind of like a bit of an enigma, living in Alameda and being in the military. People are like, oh, there's a mushroom church or whatever. And so I'd always said oh, if I get out, I'm gonna check that out. I had not been anticipating finding DMT there. I just thought it was a mushroom church. That's what everyone always calls it. So when I saw it there, I was like, I have to get it. I don't know if I'll ever have this opportunity again. I started microdosing DMT probably once every 2 weeks. And when I say the difference that it has made in my life has been absolutely profound. I don't know if there are words to truly describe that level of profoundness. I hadn't even realized it, but I had lost my internal monologue. I couldn't hear myself in my head other than what I know now to be, my nervous system constantly chatting away and filling me with anxieties and fears. And I didn't really have a sense of self that was guiding me until I was meditating a couple of days after my first DMT microdose. And then all of a sudden I could hear my own voice in my head for the first time in years, and it was like meeting an old friend. I had forgotten that was what being guided by self was. And then, from that moment, I had been having more profound experiences as my time microdosing continued, and my life changed profoundly on January 3rd of this year. I had been doing a lot of meditation, and I had been continuing the microdosing, but on this day, I woke up, I did a meditation, I microdosed, and I laid on the floor, and in my head, the image was so crystal clear of just what I know now to be sacred geometry. And that turned into an overlay of another image on top of what I can only describe now as being almost what looked like a womb. And in retrospect, I perceive this as being the moment I saw myself in the astral womb, because later that night, I had the experience of my soul being reborn. And when I say I've been searching for something my whole life, nothing has ever resonated. I've never been a believer in any sense, extremely skeptical. It was as if whatever was out there was now's the time. It's it's time for you to know. It felt like my soul was given back to me. Later that night, after I was sober and whatever, I was just brushing my teeth, looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden it was I recognized myself for the first time since I was a teenager, and I just started crying. I was oh my God, I'm here and I see who I am, and I've become exactly who I'm supposed to be, even though it was so hard. And I can finally find like a reason to live. My life has been really crazy since then, going from having like, you know, severe like mental health issues like throughout my life, and then compounding that with the military. It's wild for me to not have a backdrop of like suicidal ideation or negativity or sadness as like the lens of my reality. I feel like I've completely like stepped into a new reality. Like I'm hearing people differently. I hear them as who they truly are and not as this like lens of judgment I placed over them. It has shown me like the path for my life and what I need to do, and shown me that there is like more to all of this. And it's not just like consume and show up till you die, you know?